Let's talk about this loss. I don't, for the life of me, understand how we got to this point where a team that frankly was on a 5-game losing streak, lost their starting quarterback this week, lost their star wide receiver, how you can end up losing this game in the fashion where you did, where special teams was a joke, where defensively, you had some good moments. You had some good moments for sure. But in the big moment, didn't make the stop. But I'll give the defense a break. In terms of all the phases, the defense gets the most slack cut for them. Offensively, what the fuck was that today? You had a bye week to get yourself ready and feel like this could be a good matchup. I know Falcons pass rush is good, but last week they got torched by Bryce Young and the Panthers. Good matchup to build some confidence. Good matchup to show that your offensive-minded coach can get you steered in the right direction. Didn't see any of that. And for some reason, and I don't know what the reason is, and Lord, man, I would love to get an explanation by Saints ownership, Saints front office. Why is Blake Grupe allowed to not do his job, to cost this team points, and constantly be able to keep his job for the next week? Because even all the things that went wrong for the Saints today, stuffed at the goal line once, stuffed at the goal line twice, not taking advantage of Mason Tipton's kickoff return. If Blake Grupe just makes his 2 fucking field goals, okay, which, by the way, were 38 yards and 47 yards, so we're not asking a whole lot from the fucking dude. If he just makes those field goals, the Saints are in position, even at the end of the game, despite how miserable this game has been, they would have been in position to potentially have a touchdown and 2-point conversion to tie the game and send it into overtime. And that doesn't mean the Saints deserve to win today, because they did not deserve to win today. When you're coached that poorly, when you execute that poorly, you don't deserve to win. But it just goes to show the margins in the NFL are so razor thin. And mistakes like that will always come back to bite you in the ass. And against a poor opponent like this, it just really makes it even more frustrating. You live with it. If you face the Los Angeles Rams, you make mistakes. The Rams are really fucking good. You play a Falcons team off a 5-game losing streak, and this is the result. It's embarrassing. So, my frustration with Grupe, that's there. My frustration with Kellen Moore and the offense just having no creativity and him not knowing what the plan is going to be in the red zone, that's a problem. Not great about that. And also, looking around elsewhere, why can the Saints, for the life of them, not figure out what they want to do with Taysom Hill at this point? If you want to go with Taysom Hill in the goal line, commit to it, run right down their throat. Do not roll out to the right. Do not let him be a passer. This is not going to happen. It wasn't working in his prime. It ain't going to work now. So that drives me nuts. That all falls on the coach for sure. But make no mistake about it. Saints did not deserve to win today. The better team won today, no doubt. And I think we're back into that mode of just when you had a glimpse of hope of saying, hey, beat the Panthers, your rookie quarterback looked good, the rest of the schedule is pretty easy, and you're not thinking playoffs, you're not thinking winning all these games, you're just thinking, hey, can you give me something to look forward to on Sundays? The Saints have, in my opinion, their most disappointing loss of the season, without a doubt. And I won't be getting into QB debates or whether or not you like Brandon Staley, because I don't think Brandon Staley was the problem today. I'm willing to talk Kellen Moore. I'm willing to talk this horrible, horrible roster that Mickey Loomis has assembled. And I'm willing to talk about the Keebler elf Blake Grupe and the shit job he did. And that's about it for me, because those are the 3 things that I take away from this game. I take away the fact that Kellen Moore is not good enough. I take away the fact that his roster fucking sucks. And yeah, Saints lost today. That's going to help him get a better draft pick. The guy who has assembled this shitty-ass roster, you're comfortable with him picking top 3? I don't know, man. I don't know. I would not be comfortable about that. So it to me, it always gets all those concerns, they get heightened when you have a performance like this. So pretty frustrating. And that's just kind of where I'm at. So I'm going to let you guys take it from here. I'll get into all your comments and we'll go from there. We've been on here for about 3 hours. A lot of A lot of frustration for sure. I've never once in my life sought out a Falcons stream to talk shit. LOL, what a low life. Oh, the guy that came in before. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't even think about the Falcons or the Bucks or the Panthers or all these like NFC South teams. And part of it is because like the NFC South collectively have all agreed, hey, let's just all suck ass. Even the Bucks. Bucks make the playoffs. Do you expect them to do anything? I sure as hell don't. Yeah, I wouldn't care to do that, you know? We are not tanking. Who, the Saints? Yeah, Saints aren't tanking. They're just bad. Why does Moore refuse to use his running back on the goal line? I don't know. I wish I could give you the answer. I don't know. I really don't know. And all I could say for sure is that Kellen Moore is just maybe not a Devin Neal fan. Now, I know he thinks that the easiest route to getting into the end zone, he thinks, is using Taysom Hill in that spot. And maybe he'd be right, but like he wasn't right on that fourth down call to roll out to the right. I did not understand that at all. And I don't understand why the Saints on the second time around were unable to have any strategy. When you fuck up at the goal line on that sequence like they did in the third quarter, the fact that you get a mulligan and you fuck up, I would argue worse because of the botched snap and all that and the QB sneak that didn't work. I think it's just even more embarrassing. So to me, I don't have the answers as to why he didn't want to use Devin Neal, but I just know if something doesn't work, I don't know if I'm going to just keep going back to it. And yet that's what they've done. And it almost feels a little bit like a stubbornness to it. So yeah, that's just kind of where we're at, man. You got to fire the whole staff. This is ridiculous. I mean, I don't think they're going to fire anyone, but I don't disagree with you. Falcons stunk enough to get all that offensive talent and still garbage. It's the Saints' turn, to be honest. Turn to be what, though? I mean, I think both teams are bad, but yeah. Croupy, man. Kelmore's body language says it all. He's lost and unprepared. I mean, the prepared part, I guess, you put into it when you have a bye week. Which team looked like they had the bye week? Because I would say the Falcons look like they had the bye week. And yet, the Falcons lost their quarterback and lost their number one wide receiver this week. They had like 17 fucking guys on the injury report. So, yeah. The run game banks on guards and tight ends running inside. The fact Caesar Reese's liability is an issue. You got to make cuts. I mean, Caesar Reese stinks. I totally agree with you, man. I couldn't agree more with that. And that's a big part of the problem with the Saints. So we talk about where they'll be picking draft-wise. All right. Yeah, they might have a really good pick. Why are we supposed to get excited? Because the reality is Mickey Loomis has had all these picks, and he's used it on the interior of the O-line or just the O-line in general. And the O-line's not the strength of the Saints. Falcons beat them up in the trenches, at least when it was that way around. Not to make excuses for Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck had a whatever day. Like, wouldn't classify it as good, and I wouldn't classify it as horrible. It was just somewhere where it's like, okay. And that's like the worst place to be in, quite frankly. But the Saints offensive line, there's been so many investments there. And I know Fuaga's injured, and I know McCoy's injured, and those are two big investments. But like, invested in Penning, what a whiff that was, and he's gone anyway. Invested in Ruiz, what a whiff. It shouldn't be like this. The offensive line should be a strength, and yet it's not. Lining up in the shotgun on half-yard line equals Kellen Moore, stellar play calling. Yeah, work to perfection. Work to absolute perfection. Give me Reese and Bell, and maybe Loomis will regain my trust. I don't know what he can do to regain mine, but I like that you're keeping the door open. I like that you're keeping the door open. Moore's play calling is very questionable. Groupie needs to be cut. Need a new punter. Kamara probably needs to retire for the season. Vele is so hit or miss. Taysom is predictable. Yeah, I think he kind of went through it. I'm so interested to see what happens with Alvin. Like, I don't know. I think he might. Who knows? He might be out for the season at this rate. We'll see what the injury status is. I don't want to speculate too much, but yeah, that's a concern in my opinion. I would argue that wide receiver wise, I mean, what other team is rolling out Mason Tipton and Vele as their number 2 and number 3? That just, to me, seems fucking embarrassing. So that's a problem. Make no doubt about it. All right. You got your punters. We got the ball bouncing in the Falcons' favor. I mean, it's bouncing backwards. That's a disaster. He's averaging 35 yards a punt today. So Kai Kroger sucks. Your kicker went 1 for 3 today. He sucks. So yeah, no, you're right. I mean, there's trouble all around. Kellen Moore is trash, buddy. Reese ended Breeze's career, and he's only gotten worse since then. And that's sad. 19 should be cut now. I agree. I think Kamara has just been injured, but yeah, I think he may retire soon, sadly. I mean, I think he's got one more year left on his contract and physical position. If he were to retire, I wouldn't blame him at all. Wouldn't blame him at all. Groupie killed our momentum, possibly. Lame ass play calling on head coach. Reese, another poor game. Groupie be gone, please. Staying in the hunt for early pick. I mean, if you want an early pick, Groupie will keep you in that hunt. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. I mean, he's been tremendous. So if you're trying to tank, get yourself a kicker who can't make kicks. The sliver of excitement we had from 2 weeks ago lasted exactly 15 minutes today. It did, yeah. I mean, it got snuffed out so quickly, and I'm so frustrated. And I'm not going to say shame on me, because I did think it would get eradicated quickly. I didn't think this feeling was going to last much longer. And actually, I'm kind of glad the Saints had their bye week, because then you're like, all right, you got to linger in the bye week of the unknown, and the unknown is always better than the known. In terms of in your head, like you get excited about that. But yeah, I mean, after the first quarter, they looked ill-prepared on offense. Like they were going backwards on offense. So yeah, it's tough to get excited over that. Telling you Kellen Moore isn't good. I'm not disagreeing with you, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I don't have anything good to say about Kellen Moore. And it's not me trying to be an ass. It's kind of how I feel. Man, if Groupie just made those field goals, man. Oh, man. Look. It would have technically been a game, one possession, all that, but fucking hell, wouldn't have mattered at this point with the way they played. But yeah, I need him cut tomorrow morning. Crazy that Chuck's still looking the best player on offense. Sadly, he did, actually. He did. You're right. Hard to give anyone really credit for a performance like this, but yeah, probably like you're not giving it to your running back room. You're not giving it to your wide receiver room. You're not giving it to the tight ends. You're definitely not giving the O-line. So it's like, well, who is the best player offensively? Probably your quarterback. Probably don't mean much, but yeah, probably him. It's just tough to get excited about a performance like that, though, because even with him, you didn't get a whole lot today. So such is life, man. Such is life. This is one game needed to win for team and fans. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think this was a game to earn fans' commitment for the rest of the season. I kind of do feel like that. Like I'm not going anywhere, obviously, but I mean, would you be surprised if some Saints fans kind of just pump the brakes now for the rest of the season? I wouldn't be. And some probably did before today anyway, but I think for, specifically today, a win over the Falcons, no, it doesn't win you anything in the grand scheme of things, but you put together back-to-back wins. You make your fans feel a little bit more invested for the next week, and maybe you start to build something, but no, you had one of your worst performances of the season, maybe your worst. Gail, quote unquote, said Mickey's been doing a great job. She said Mickey's doing a great job. She also said it's ridiculous to think that he should be fired. Let's pull up what the fuck she said, because hard to get excited about the team when this woman is saying the shit she's saying. All right, it may not be what fans want to hear, but as far as firing Mickey Loomis, that's ridiculous. He does a great job. Mickey said from this beginning, of the season, I understand how fans feel. I really do. But we told everyone at the beginning this was going to be a tough year, and it's been a tough year. You don't think Mickey Loomis is losing sleep at night over all this? He is. It's hard. It's not an easy job. It's not like he's sitting on his butt, not worrying about things. Bro, I don't care if he's losing sleep or not. I'm losing sleep over this team. You're losing sleep over this team. I hope the GM's losing sleep over this team. But it's his job to put together a good roster, and he doesn't do that. It's his job to get the right head coach. And if he does whiff on Kellen Moore, and I'm going to use if, I'll give Kellen time, even though I'm out on Kellen Moore. I'm going to give him time just as a fan. whiffing on back-to-back coaches is acceptable. Drafting Isaiah Foskey is acceptable. Drafting Trevor Penning is acceptable. Drafting Peyton Turner is acceptable. Drafting Kendra Miller is acceptable. Drafting Jake fucking Ayner is acceptable. Signing certain players that, quite frankly, have not been worth the money for this team over the last couple of years. That ain't going to cut it. Trading 2 picks for Vele, what the fuck was that all about? I mean, didn't make sense when you did it. It looks even worse now. So this thought that we can't criticize the GM when he's done a horrible job is laughable. And I will always be happy that I saw the Saints win the Super Bowl and love that. But like, that was 16 fucking years ago. 16 years ago. Like, good God. You know, life was so much different then. My hairline was much better then. I mean, good God, 16 years ago is a lifetime for some people, sadly. And that's what you're going to hang on to. And in the NFL, that is such a long time. So I don't know. I understand why Gail goes to the lengths she does. And I'm not saying Gail should go to the media and be like, oh, Mickey Loomis fucking sucks. I don't need them to be the Jets. I don't need them to be the Jets where Woody Johnson goes out there and says this nonsense. You don't have to do that. But don't slap the fans in the face with this nonsense. I'd rather you just say nothing. I'd rather you say nothing. You know, but that's where we're at. This game is a perfect example of why I question Gail Benson saying that Mickey Loomis is doing a good job. I'm not going to say he's the worst team ever, but how can you say he's doing a good job? Why? Other teams would kill to have Mason Tipton as their wide receiver 3. It's hard for Chuck to even do anything when he gets taken out every big play for a guy with 1 foot out of the league. Yeah, I mean, it's got to stop at some point. We can't even assess whether or not, you know, whether or not Chuck can be a good red zone quarterback because he's never fucking in. So, yeah. And that's why, so I'll just be honest. Fuck it. I don't really care at this point. It is what it is. They want to get butthurt, whatever. Earlier this week, there was a report that maybe the Saints would have like mini camp and training camp in Monaco. And I was like, man, that's a slap in the face to the fans. And I had a certain Saints podcaster be like, oh, how's it a slap in the face to the fans? And if this person ever comes across, they know who they are because they never fucking tweet. They only tweet at me for some reason. And I don't understand it. You're a grown man with kids. Find something else to do, but fucking pick on me every day of your life. But he's like, how is it a slap in the face? A slap in the face to fans. Bro, your product right now sucks. The last thing New Orleans fans want to hear is that you might go take mini camp to fucking Monaco so you can get a free vacation, Gail. So to me, that is a slap in the face to fans. Now, you can go be tweeting about me all you want again because you're fucking annoying, but like, I just don't understand how people don't get frustrated with that. When the product's this bad, and it is very bad, and you have spent the last 7 days defending Mickey, talking about maybe going to France, and yeah, they're going to have a game in Paris, and I think that is cool. I know some people don't want them expanding the game internationally, but I do think that is cool. But a mini camp in Monaco, a training camp in Monaco, I know that's been now debunked, allegedly. But you read the report Jeff Duncan put out. It was great work by Jeff Duncan. He did a great job. I mean, the fact that she's even like entertaining that idea is hilarious. So, and by the way, going to Monaco ain't going to fix the problems for this team. It's not going to fix the problem that the roster sucks. It's not going to fix the problem that you employ a kicker that can't make kicks. All I heard was how we were going to beat the Falcons all week, shaking my head. Yeah, you know, it's funny. So in Ted Lasso, they say it's the hope that kills you. And I'm starting to believe that they are right. Because I was hopeful for this game. And I don't know if the Saints are going to win this one, to be quite frank. But I didn't think it was going to look this bad. And a double-digit loss where the way you lost, man. 6 points left at the field goal kicker. 7 points left on a red zone trip. Another 4 points left on a trip that you had to settle for a field goal because of the grounding call, which, by the way, wasn't supposed to be grounding. Thanks, refs. You know, it's just annoying. Upside to Monaco training game is you could leave Groupie there and he could become a goat farmer. Sure, he'd be great at that. I will say, fuck it. I don't care if I put him on the spot. He might not be a Saint longer. So I was at Saints Broncos last year. Saints got their ass kicked. And the next day, Blake Groupie was at the casino and he was playing virtual roulette. And right there, I was like, I can't trust this guy. If you're going to play roulette, at least play normal roulette. Why are we playing virtual roulette? And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And the funny thing is there was two dudes who were in the casino that day for the Saints after they got their ass kicked. It was Blake Grupe, who maybe will get cut tomorrow. And it was Isaiah Foskey, who I don't know what he's doing. Let's see what he's up to. I know the Bengals picked him up, but is he doing anything for them? No, he does. All right. Yeah, he's got no stats on the season. So, all right. At least he sucks for everyone, not just the Saints. But yeah. In Moore's defense, he lost his starting running back and kicker sold him out, but head coach expected to adjust, and he's not done that all year. He's so predictable, it's kind of scary. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, again, I'll cut him. I'll give him grace for AK going down and his kicker being ass, but like the offense is predictable, and it doesn't seem like he adjusts well to the situations that have been thrown towards him. Halftime adjustments didn't. I mean, look, they were moving the ball in the second half, so maybe that was the halftime adjustment for sure, but let's back it up. Let's go to that Rams game a couple weeks ago. We argued about like, oh, how poor their red zone offense was. And man, you had a bye week. Like what did you work on during the bye week? It sure as hell wasn't your red zone offense. So I think that's where I get frustrated. I can understand the defense though. I get it, man. AK going down probably fucks up a lot of shit, man. So yeah. Kelmore and AK says we'll have to evaluate. We'll have to let that go through the process of the full evaluation tomorrow and see what the outline is. All right. Well, not surprised, but Kelmore was asked about Blake Grupe and his 8 misses this year. Said, that's a frustrating one. Really, dude? I get it. You got to be politically correct, but, would rather just say he's being cut tomorrow. He ran the ball better without AK, no excuses. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I don't want to make excuses for Kellen Moore, by the way. You guys could go through. We've been streaming for 3.5 hours. I have probably spent 3.5 hours bitching about Kellen Moore. So, yeah. Bro, we really wasted the first few years of the post-Breeze era for sure. I mean, the rebuild should have been happening. It is now starting. And that to me is the scary part. There's going to be a lot more bad years before we get to enjoying stuff. We lose with AK, bro, regardless, so we can't really give grace for that. No, that lose regardless, yeah, for sure. To be quite honest, I could put like some Saints greats on this team, and I don't know if they're going to win the game. Like that's how bad I thought the coaching was today. Doing too much on the inch line, yeah. Look, so they did a run zone option with Shuck. They get to the 1. They did a QB sneak with Shuck. You gain about half a yard. Run it again. Run it again. You bring Taysom in. You go shotgun. Snap goes over his head. He throws it away. They call grounding. And, yeah, that's just where we're at. How can we have the ball on the 1 yard line twice in 2 separate possessions at home and fail to score? Was the last time I managed to do it against the Falcons, the fake victory formation? Yeah, it feels that way. Sure feels that way, man. So, yeah. Sneaky Pete Carmichael was better than Ellen Moore. Prove me wrong. I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. Like they're both ass, but at least Pete Carmichael had some good years, I guess, as an OC, but he wasn't calling the plays in the good years. The years of him calling plays didn't love it. With Kellen's play calling, kind of hard to get a good feel for either quarterback at this point. Yeah, I mean, I said it before, like I want to see, because one of my knocks on Rattler, because I think Rattler developed a lot over the last year. I thought like he ran better. I thought took less sacks. Rattler struggled in the red zone. I could go back before Rattler. Derek Carr, biggest flaw of his career, I think, is he struggled in the red zone. We're not even seeing anything from Shuck in the red zone, frankly, because we're getting into the red zone and the Saints are saying, all right, it's Taysom time. And I'd be cool with it if they had a better package for what they're doing there. Rattler looks better, period. I don't care to get into Rattler conversations. You guys want to argue about Rattler? Go ahead. You guys know where I'm at with that. I'm not arguing about it. I think Rattler's a cool dude. He's a high-end backup in the NFL. I don't know why we're caping for Rattler at this point. Or Shuck. We'll see what he does over the last, we got 6 more games left this year. Yeah, I'm exhausted, period, but I'm definitely exhausted with the quarterback conversation because, quite frankly, If you think that's what lost in the game today, I don't know what to tell you. You had a kicker leave 6 points at the door, and you had a coach who couldn't figure out what the fuck he wanted to call at the goal line. So when you talk about why they lost, that's why they lost, to be quite honest. Look, that's just kind of where we're at as a Saints team. And I could look at this for a lot of games. I go back earlier this season. I would argue, which game was it that drove me up a wall? Patriots game, they had a really good shot. Bills game, remember they called that trick play and Olave threw an interception. So red zone offensive play calling has been bad. It's been bad with both quarterbacks. And, you could argue over it. I don't think that's why they're losing. I think the coaching just stinks. All right, so I'll get a couple more comments here, guys, and I'm going to go because my voice is shot to all hell. David says, realistically, what has to happen to make the playoffs in the near future? That's a great question, David. Well, you need to know if you have a good head coach. I don't know if you do. You need to have a 2017 draft class at this point. You're so deprived of talent. Like, the tight end room sucks. Running back, I think you need 2 running backs. I think you need another wide receiver. I think you need maybe 2 wide receivers. You need help on the defensive line, especially defensive tackle. I think you use some juice there. I think you can use another linebacker maybe, unless Stutzman ends up developing well over the next couple of weeks. I think you need another offensive guard. Maybe you need 2 offensive guards. You might need a replacement for Eric McCoy because he's always banged up. So you need so much. I don't want to sound bleak because like the NFL could turn on a dime, but historically the teams that have had those overnight changes, and I'll bring you 2 examples, the Patriots this year, and I'll go a couple of years ago when the Texans hired DeMeco Ryans and they drafted CJ Stroud. You need that marriage of coach and quarterback. And I don't know if the Saints have the quarterback right now. I don't feel good about the head coach right now. So I don't think playoffs are in the near future. And if by near future, we're talking the next year or 2, I don't see it. But a good draft can change things. Another year of head coaching maybe opens things up for Kellen, and maybe Kellen would feel a little bit more confident if he had his personnel. But I don't like the 4th down decisions he makes. I don't like the red zone calls that he comes up with. And I don't like the guy who's assembling the roster for the coach with the play sheet. So, that's just kind of where I'm at. And I really don't see playoffs in the future at all. I really don't. It's more the play caller, Nussmeier. It's more Kellen Moore's calling the plays. So there you kind of have it. All right. Anyway, guys, it has been 3.5 hours of streaming. I love you all very much. You guys have been awesome this entire time. I apologize that the Saints stink. I wish we had better football to talk about today. Frankly, we didn't. Hopefully the Saints cut Blake Grupe tomorrow. Regardless of what they do, we'll have you covered here at Buku Media. So make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I hope you guys enjoy Sunday Night Football. Rams-Bucks should be a pretty good game. And we'll have more coverage here on the Straight Up Saints podcast, the destination for the Who Dat Nation.